During the 1920s, the United States was characterized by a quote-unquote booming economy, in which this boom was the economic success within the state. Stock prices within the state were at all-time high during this time and kept increasing at a rapid rate. However, this economic success would soon be detrimental for the people of the United States, as there were practices that would soon lead up to a sudden calamity. The economy was controlled by the quote-unquote business, in which there was lack of governmental interference for ensuring stability. A large number of Americans also believed it was crucial to play the market, which is basically society's way of saying to get rich through stock. For instance, there was an imbalance of the economy in which wages were ultimately uneven, benefiting the wealthy and corporations along with overproduction. As the market for their products declined, so did the need for workers. Banking, decline of farming, and excessive use of credit also led up to a calamity looming around the corner, which was the crash of 1929. Though stocks were at all-time high during the booming 20s, one fateful Tuesday, October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed after a selling frenzy. The Thursday before, October 24, 1929, the large-scale selling frenzy began, but despite restoration efforts to keep the market stable, the market crashed. The next 10 years, lasting up until 1939, would be a depression. Though many economic depressions have existed in the past, this depression was peculiar. Waiting for a nearing end of the depression, Americans would find themselves unknowingly waiting for a period of time that would exceed their expectations. The depression was abnormally long and would find itself to be the Great Depression, which the majority of Americans were not in any way prepared for. Majority of Americans were unemployed, national productivity value was low, banking failed, and people going hungry are only of the few drastic effects of this depression. Poverty and homelessness were common, and now society was ironically at a commonality. African Americans, along with farmers, didn't have a share in the prosperity during the boom in the 20s, and now a majority of Americans weren't prosperous. The attitudes of Americans within this time frame would now be adjusted, where Americans doubted the prospect of improvement and ultimately had a sense of hopelessness. Discrimination was also concurrent during these times, where quick assumptions about availability of labor force were made. Women were blamed for taking jobs, African Americans were being unemployed and had no economic support, and Mexican Americans experienced competition for jobs, forcing them to return to Mexico. Ultimately, the Great Depression was a historical time period that was caused suddenly, leaving the United States' socio-economic presence ravaged.